It's voting day here in Lucknow, one of India's most historic cities, and I'm in the grounds of a polling station where there's a steady turnout of men and women forming separate queues to cast their ballots, and officials busily poring over voters' lists to make sure that nobody tries to vote more than once. There is a little bit of tension in the air because on the eve of polling, the local state government, controlled by the Hindu nationalist BJP, was dismissed. Another sign of the endemic turbulence in the politics of this part of India. Nevertheless, that doesn't seem to have had any big impact on turnout. It's a bright sunny day, the atmosphere is relaxed, and I'm going to talk to one of the voters who's here with me with his voter slip in hand. Now, what is this slip and what do you do when you get to the top of the queue?
This is the exact slip which is a voter's list slip. There is a voter list. I will hand it over to that person concerned. This will be tallied from their own voter list, and then they will give me a voter.
And how long will you have to wait before you get a chance to?
Half an hour. So it will take only half an hour to cast my vote there.
Alongside this steadily shuffling queue of voters waiting for their turn to cast their ballots is a sub-inspector of police. Has there been any trouble?
No trouble at all.
Are you nervous because of the political tension?
Why?
The state government has just fallen.
No problem at all. So why should I be nervous? We have to maintain law and order. And if I will be nervous, then how should I maintain this?
And of course there's voters emerging, having cast their ballot. Now you have a mark on your finger. What does that mean?
That means I have voted. I have hold my vote. This is ink.
You can't wash it off?
No, yes. I can't wash it off.
But we hear stories that some people do manage to wash it off and vote more than once.
It is true. Some people manage it to wash out and then come again.
How many candidates did you have a choice of voting for?
In ballot paper, 9 or 10 candidates.
But the famous thing about Lucknow is that it's the seat of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. He's the local MP.
Yeah.
He's also the BJP's candidate for Prime Minister.
Yes.
Now, we won't know whether he's held this seat until the votes are counted on March the 2nd, because votes are counted at the same day across India.
Yeah.
But do you think Lucknow will have voted Vajpayee to Parliament again?
Yes, I hope that people will vote for Mr. Vajpayee.
You're saying that,
but
there is still this feeling among many Muslims in Lucknow, the minority community, that the BJP is against them.
Yes, there is a feeling among some minority people that BJP is inimical to their interest, especially in Muslims.
I'm making a radio program which is going to look particularly at political allegiances of the Muslim minority in Lucknow, whether they are beginning to trust the BJP, whether they're going to go back to the Congress party, who they once used to vote for, whether they're going to cast their votes for somebody else. Now, you're, I can tell, a very prominent member of Lucknow's community. Who do you think Muslims here will vote for?
Muslim may go to the Samajwadi Party fold.
That's a left-wing party?
Left-wing, one of the ally of the United Front.
In Mr. Gujral's government?
Yes, in the Gujral government, one of the partner of the United Front, Samajwadi Party.
I'm travelling through Lucknow in time-honoured fashion. I'm being pedalled on a cycle rickshaw. This is still quite a sleepy city. Lucknow's got a population of approaching 2 million, and it's the capital of India's most populous state, Uttar Pradesh. But life here is a lot slower than in Delhi or in Bombay. It has got some very fine, distinguished old architecture, a legacy of centuries of Muslim rule, and there is still a distinct, though declining, Lucknow culture, again a product of Lucknow's Muslim-ruled past. And Muslims today make up round about a sixth of the population of the city. That's more than in most parts of North India. And Lucknow's Muslims have their own distinct political allegiances which have changed very markedly since the demolition of the Babri Masjid, an ancient Muslim place of worship in Ayodhya, a few hours' drive from Lucknow, a little bit more than 5 years ago.
Ayodhya was a watershed, I think, for the Muslims of UP in any case, of the whole of India, but certainly for UP in the north. They realized that the things could go to an extent where the mosque could actually be pulled down. It was not just a threat, it was a demonstration of an overwhelming power.
Mansoor Hassan is a professor of cardiology and among the most prominent of Lucknow's Muslim minority. He says the destruction of the Ayodhya Mosque, the Babri Masjid, by Hindu hardliners has led to a remoulding of Muslim political attitudes.
It was a watershed, and I think after this, there's a realization that the Muslims have to be dependent on their own self and not dependent on the government for support, for protection, which of course is part of always there, but basically it has made them look inwards to their own future, to their own potentialities, to their own annihilations. So it has been a watershed. I think this is the beginning of a Muslim rethinking on their own destiny.
While much of urban India was disfigured by Hindu-Muslim riots in the aftermath of the Ayodhya demolition, Lucknow was calm, with only a few isolated incidents. But Rupreka Verma, a Hindu by birth, an agnostic by conviction, and the Vice-Chancellor of Lucknow University, says there has been a political polarization.
With pride we can say that Lucknow never had any Hindu-Muslim riot excepting before and after the campaign against Babri Masjid. We had one or two incidents here before the demolition of Babri Masjid and after. But excepting these 2 or 3 events, Lucknow never had any riot, not even a tension between Hindus and Muslims.
Would you say today that relations between Hindus and Muslims are good?
They are good by and large, but the thing is that there is a sort of the discourse of we and they, the sort of consciousness that we are different from them, their stakes are different from ours. This consciousness has deeply crept into our minds. It has not come up to the level of explosive tension, but this very discourse and thinking has crept into our minds, which is very dangerous, I suppose.
People are now defining themselves politically by their religion.
Yes, very much. Socially also.
An auto rickshaw blaring out Congress Party election slogans in the Muslim quarter of Lucknow. Here at least it's a lost cause. A decade ago this was a safe Congress Party seat. In this election they'll do well to come third here. Congress used to be able to bank on the Muslim vote. No longer. It was Hindu hardliners associated with the BJP who pulled down the Ayodhya Mosque. Uttar Pradesh, the state in which both Ayodhya and Lucknow lie, had then a BJP state government. But it was the Congress Party, in power at national level at the time of the destruction, which many Muslims still blame. Shakil Ahmed and his wife Akhtar Jahan live in the heart of Muslim Old Lucknow. He's a lawyer and former Congress Party member of the State Assembly. She's a retired college principal. Both believe that Muslims have been betrayed by the party they loyally supported for many years.
It was Congress who helped these persons to grab the Babri Masjid. It was Congress who helped these persons to make so many riots in the whole of the country.
Before the mosque was demolished, were you a Congress voter?
For so many years. I was a Congress voter. Not now.
In past always supported the Congress, Muslims. But after the demolition of this Babri Mosque and communal riots, they have lost their faith in Congress too and realized that the Congress cannot save them from this communal disturbances and other things.
You left the Congress Party after Babri Masjid?
Yes, I left.
Why did you leave?
Because I feel that there is no leadership and there is no policy or program. I feel that there is no use to become the member of the Congress.
This is not an isolated view in Lucknow. It's shared by almost all in the Muslim community. Poor Muslims in the crowded back alleys of Old Lucknow and the still small Muslim middle class. The local Congress Party spokesman, Abid Hussain, one of the few Lucknow Muslims to keep faith with Congress, says, rather unconvincingly, that many of his co-religionists have swung away from the party because they're confused.
You can say, if you want, what is the confusion? I'll tell you. The demolition was made by the BJP of the Babri Mosque. But the Muslims are little bit confused, the most of the illiterate Muslims. They are a little bit confused because the central government was in power of the Congress party. So they have not taken administrative action very quickly and the mosque was dissolved. The Muslims should punish the BJP and they are not doing. They are not punishing BJP. If they will not vote in favor of Congress, they will punish themselves instead of the BJP.
In some parts of India, Muslims and other traditional supporters who deserted the Congress party are returning to the fold. Nationally, the Congress party should improve on its worst ever election result 18 months ago, but not here in Lucknow. In this area, there's another credible alternative to the BJP, the Samajwadi Party, led by Mulayam Singh Yadav. The word Samajwadi means socialist, and the party is a partner in India's outgoing United Front coalition government. Samajwadi Party supporters singing the praises of their candidate in Lucknow, Muzaffar Ali. He wasn't a party member when he was nominated for the seat. He wasn't even sounded out in advance by the party leader. That's how politics often work in Lucknow. Muzaffar Ali is part of the old Muslim nobility. He's a film director, a champion of old Lucknow. Its architecture, its refined Urdu language, its sense of style. Much of it, he says, a distinctly Muslim contribution to the city and the region.
Muslims have played a very important role in India and North India, and I think they will continue to do so. Even now, I think they have been marginalized politically, but somewhere they are very strong in the making or breaking of a government situation. And they have also learned to coexist with other communities, to coexist with the majority community. And I think in spite of the fact that communal tension is being whipped up every now and again, there is some semblance of integration and harmony in our society.
Lucknow culture BJP style. A street theatre group in the centre of Lucknow tries to drum up support for Atal Bihari Vajpayee. There's little doubt that he'll retain this seat. He's genuinely popular. He's also seen as a liberal. While some in the BJP are aggressively pro-Hindu and viewed with fear by many in the Muslim minority, Vajpayee comes across as genial and tolerant, someone who seeks consensus rather than conflict. Here in a suburb of Lucknow, Atal Bihari Vajpayee is delivering one of his last campaign speeches. He is living up to his reputation as one of India's most effective political orators. He's also living up to another reputation, that of being the moderate, acceptable face of the Bharatiya Janata Party. He even says some of Lucknow's Muslim minority are being won over to his party's side.
The number of such Muslims is growing who think that they have been used by other political parties for their political purposes. They are realizing that BJP is a party which believes in equality, which will ensure safety to minority communities. We have told our Muslim friends that whatever happened at Ayodhya should not have happened. It should not have happened. Not in the manner it happened.
That sense of regret, the conciliatory tone, isn't reflected in the BJP's election manifesto, which repeats its commitment to the building of a magnificent Hindu temple on the site of the demolished Ayodhya mosque. Not the sort of statement to win over Muslim support. Retired college principal Akhtar Jahan concedes that Mr. Vajpayee is a good man, a liberal, but she fears that his party will tear apart what's left of Lucknow's composite culture.
The BJP is trying to get that culture vanished. They are striking on the culture of Lucknow again and again. That is what we are feeling. Our language, our way of behavior, everything. Because they are talking of Hinduvata. So they think that if we forget our culture and our civilization, then we will be dominated by them. That's the main thing.
The call to prayer at a small Shia mosque. The divisions between Sunni Muslims and the smaller Shia community run deep in Lucknow. It's created many more riots and much greater tension than any cleavage between Muslims and Hindus. Shia Muslim religious processions had been banned in Lucknow for the past 20 years. They caused too much trouble until the BJP state government allowed one Shia procession last month. It passed off peacefully. Some in the Shia community, always keen to stand apart from the Sunnis, are prepared to swallow hard and vote for, even campaign for, Mr. Vajpayee's BJP. This is something of a first for the BJP. At their closing election rally in Chowk in the centre of Old Lucknow, they have, now speaking, a Shia Muslim cleric on a BJP party platform. He's wearing his black turban and tunic that distinguishes all Shia Muslim religious leaders, and he's endorsing the platform of what is a Hindu nationalist party. The Oxford Public College, an impressive coeducational school in a Shia part of the city. 900 pupils study here, most, though not all, Muslims.
Okay, can you give me some examples by which you are dishonest in deeds? At times you are dishonest. Let me tell you why.
A moral science lesson underway to an attentive class. The school's managing director, Hamida Rizvi, is from a well-connected Shia Muslim family. She says local political loyalties are changing rapidly and she's going to vote for the BJP.
Change हुआ क्योंकि हम लोग के 20 साल से जुलूस बंद थे और अब जो
There has been a change. Our religious processions were banned for 20 years, but the BJP government has revoked that ban. Now we've been able to hold a procession. It's a great relief to us.
So what you're suggesting is that because of this, the Shia Muslims whose processions will now be allowed might feel grateful to a BJP government.
हम तो शुरू से ही बीजेपी के हैं.
We've always been BJP supporters. My father was in the police, so our politics have always been that way.
So you're a BJP supporter? It seems very strange that Muslims would support the party which is blamed for pulling down the Babri Masjid.
हाँ बस वो एक मुद्दा है बाबरी मस्जिद का कि
That's a controversial issue, the demolition of that mosque. It does hurt a bit. It shouldn't have happened like that. Any place of worship should be safe. But still many Shia Muslims will vote for the BJP.
The only way of telling which way the Muslims of Old Lucknow are going to vote is to come here to Old Lucknow and talk to the people who are lining the streets, working in the small workshops, running the shops. And I've come with Tariq Khan, who's a correspondent for the Hindustan Times here. Now, Tariq, it's not simply a Muslim area here in Old Lucknow, is it?
Yeah, and there's a section of Hindus are also there, Sunnis, Shias. It's a lot of people of other communities also reside in this locality.
And because there are basically three communities, Hindus, Sunni Muslims and Shia Muslims, all with their separate localities, the politics is variegated as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, over here we've got people hammering away at what look like blocks of silver. What actually are they doing?
I mean, they are beating silver sheets, and that's their trade. And later on they sell them off. These are silver sheets which they are beating.
Well, let's go and ask one of these silver beaters how he's going to vote.
अरे कम से कम ऐसी सरकार बने जो 5 साल चले. ये आए रोज क्या कहते हैं गिरना उठना सिवाय नुकसान से फायदा कहाँ है?
He wants stability, government which should complete its full term, 5 years term.
So who will you vote for?
अरे कांग्रेस को देना चाहिए.
Congress.
Well, he's going to vote for the Congress party, but let's sample a few other opinions among Muslims here in Old Lucknow.
हम तो मुलायम सिंह की पार्टी को वोट देंगे.
समाजवादी पार्टी.
समाजवादी पार्टी को. बस इसलिए कि वो थोड़ा सा फेवर करता है मुसलमानों को और बाकी अपना काम वोट देना है. बाकी जीते ना जीते वो तो बात की बात है.
Whether he wins or loses, he is going to vote for Mulayam Singh because he favors Muslim.
That's the Samajwadi Party.
Yeah.
What's wrong with the Congress Party?
जब मस्जिद को ना बचा पाए उस टाइम पे अब सब काम होता रहा वो अपनी जगह बैठे रहे तो क्या फायदा ऐसी पार्टी को?
They couldn't save the mosque, so he's not going to vote for the Congress.
He's not going to vote because of the Babri Masjid.
Yeah.
45 साल तक बहुत वोट दिया.
We have given them vote for 45 years now. Congress.
One thing that old Lucknow is famous for is its kebabs, and Tunde Kebab's place is probably the most famous of them all. You cook the most famous kebabs in Lucknow. I'm not going to ask you the secret of the recipe, but tell me the secret of who you're going to vote for.
बस हम तो समाजवादी पार्टी को देते हैं.
He always votes for Samajwadi Party.
But why?
नहीं बस हमारा दिल है. मुलायम सिंह ने हमको मतलब कोई अगर हमारा नुकसान नहीं किया तो हमारा फायदा भी नहीं किया.
He hasn't harmed the community in any way. Mulayam Singh. That's why he votes for him.
I'm here at a vegetable stall in Old Lucknow, and Bano is the name of the woman who runs the stall. Now, are you going to tell me which party you're going to vote for?
ये बताइए इतने दिन से हम लोग वोट डालते हैं गरीबों को कोई परेशानी है तो क्या डालते हो और अभी आगे कहेंगे और बाद में कोई नहीं पूछता है.
He says it is only during the election time when these people come to them, but afterwards, once they are elected, nobody comes to them.
So you're not happy with politicians?
कोई कुछ नहीं है.
Nobody is happy. It makes no difference to them who is elected.
As we're walking along, there's a fleet of BJP campaigners approaching us from the other direction, all on bicycles, all waving the orange and green flag of the BJP with a lotus emblem on it. We're just, 200 or 300 yards from where we started out in Akbari Gate. And we're now, it still feels like the same part of town. We still have a lot of women wearing burqas, obviously Muslim men and women working around here. But we've got BJP flags everywhere. What's happened? What's changed?
Well, you have walked into a stronghold of the BJP.
And they're getting votes only from Hindus, or they get votes from Muslims as well here?
A small number of Muslims, but a majority of them are Hindus.
So all these shops in Old Lucknow which are flying these BJP flags, orange and green flags with the lotus leaf symbol, they're run by Hindus?
Yes, they are run by Hindus.
This is Hussainabad, and it's a mainly Shia area.
Yeah.
So a lot of the women are wearing the full black veils, the burqas. And how do you think this area is going to vote?
Well, this is predominantly Shias. Some of it may go for the BJP, but the remaining, a major fraction of it, I think, will go for the Samajwadi Party.
Some people support the BJP, but the major community,
the majority with Mulayam Singh Yadav. We are all with Mulayam Singh Yadav, not with BJP.
Why do some Shias support the BJP?
Because in the election, somebody are making business, business. If somebody get money from another party, okay, he will support to BJP. If he will get money from you, he will support you.
Muslim Lucknow is not a microcosm of India. In this country of almost 1 billion people, no constituency can reflect the complex and conflicting trends, caste, communal, regional, which constitute Indian politics. If the national opinion polls can be believed, the Hindu nationalist BJP will emerge from the elections as the largest party in Parliament, but short of an overall majority. The Congress Party, the party so despised by many Lucknow Muslims, will stage a partial recovery, aided by Italian-born Sonia Gandhi, the widow of former Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi. Strangely, although she's proved the biggest crowd puller of these elections, I never once heard her name mentioned in Old Lucknow. The alliance of left parties which has governed India over the past 18 months, and which many Muslims here support, is expected to lose ground. But the political realignment evident here along religious or sectarian lines, and in other parts of India along caste lines, and the increasing disdain not just for politicians but for the political process, seems to be more than just a local phenomenon. Dr. Verma, Vice-Chancellor of Lucknow University, believes that the country has been poorly served by its politicians and that the voters know that.
The difficulty is that because of continually having bad governments and bad politicians and continual neglect of real issues of life and an ordinary man, complete neglect of ordinary man, people have complete despondency. And because of despondency, they do not get involved as much in the political process as they must, although they talk a lot. Today, every ordinary person is talking much more about politics than earlier. But his or her real involvement is much lesser today because of despondency.
Indian politics still has a sense of energy, but increasingly the many communities which make up this enormous country, Lucknow's Muslims among them, are becoming more anxious, more defensive, more insecure about their identity. Few Indian voters are prepared to look beyond their own community's narrow sectional interests.